Carambas. I did it again. I looked down and was describing this. Okay, I'm going to go straight to it. Today is Feast of St. Albert of Sicily, who was born, we're not 100% sure, somewhere between 1250 and 1257, and in Trapani, Sicily. Died in Messina, Sicily in 1307. Carmelite. His parents dedicated him to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. He became a Carmelite. He was a preacher, successful evangelist, particularly with Sicilian Jews. My two aunts made these delicious desserts, and I'm not going to get cut off again. These delicious desserts, anyway, one was deep fried, covered in oil, not oil, honey, and it was kind of pretzel-like shaped, but it was, actually the Indians make a thing that reminds me of it. There's an Indian type of sweet, and it's like that. I don't know what it's called, but I've eaten it, and I went, oh man, this reminds me of my aunt's stuff. My two aunts, my two uncles on my father's side married they were brothers, the oldest brothers, I think, and they married two sisters, which was kind of interesting. Lived together in the same house, and they would make these most delicious desserts. So technically, they were married into the family, and they made this. It was these little balls about cherry size, and they would put it into a mound. I believe they were all, no, don't eat that. They were also deep fried, but they weren't, I will say not greasy in the way that sometimes fried foods are. And they would make a mountain into a triangle, maybe 6 inches tall. Go. And then that would get covered in honey. I guess Sicilians love honey. They must have a lot of bees. And then I think they sprinkled little, I'm going to call it periels. Those little things. Now, I don't think they made cookies. Maybe they did. Actually, they may have made, those lovely aunts of mine may have made some cookies too. But they also made a delicious cheesecake, which I was describing. And I'm going to keep this phone from my belly so I don't turn off the phone. It was kind of damp, not just moist, but is my recollection. I could be wrong. But it had like citron, it had candied fruit, and I want to say it had something in it that had the texture of what I'm going to suggest may have been barley or something else that I actually brought from the Italian market. I forget what it's called. What is it? There's something. Anyway, I think it's a grain, and it is sort of somewhere like rice and barley, and it would be in the bottom, and it would give it this chewy texture. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, they made that, and that was so delicious. And we had lasagna, delicious lasagna. What else was? Oh, and we had gabaladina, whatever that is, and caponata. And my father used to make that. And eggplant is also big with Sicilians. And my father would make, caponata and gabaladina. And then something else. There was one dish that they made with tomatoes, onions, the two kinds of squash, yellow and the other one. And it also has a name that seems familiar to some other American type of foods. But anyway, caponata, if I've got this one right, had eggplant and capers in it. And what else? Probably some onion, olives, capers, eggplant. I'm feeling like there was something else in there. And it's like a cold salad. So it's chopped up little pieces, whether I'm guessing they were cooked and then put together, but eaten at room temperature or cold even, I think. And it was delicious. I got to make it. And yeah, I got to make that. It was delicious. Caponata. Actually, I probably have a jar of somebody's version of it on the shelf. I have to try. Anyway, St. Albert of Sicily, pray for us. All the saints pray for us. Please pray for the souls in purgatory.